Live from the Cactus Creek at Ibri, he is the king of prime time, Ghana's undisputed entertainment laureate, and still the youngest old man in Ghana. Put your hands together, show some love for the indefatigable KSM.
It's the KSM Show.
We're back. As I told you, Spotlight. We start on Friday and then we end on Sunday. So today we're going to get to the amazing conclusion of the discussion we've been having. Prof, thank you for the part 2.
Thank you for having me again.
Pleasure. We're going to take a short commercial break. When we come back, remember Friday? As we're ending, the professor says we have to change the narrative. How do we change the narrative? Stick around. We'll be right back.
The KSM Show.
Happy are we, studios are we, students of Presbyterian Secondary School. Every time I sing this song, they say, now okay, so I call Prempe, you know. Well, the fact is I didn't go to Prempe, but my foundation was at Odadie. And why am I talking about Odadie? Odadie is 85 years old. Today, 85 years old. So there's a grand debut at Presec, the campus of Presec, on the 30th of September, and I'm going to be telling you more and more about it, okay? But before the grand debut, I'm going to be inviting the headmaster, Mr. David Ojija, and I'm sure he'll be joined by the past alumni president called Reverend Markwe. They're going to be in this house, and we're going to be talking about Happy Are We? So stick around, coming your way very soon.
Yes! The Presbyterian Boys Secondary School Presec hits the big 8-5. As part of the 85th anniversary celebrations, Presbyterian Boys Secondary School and the Odadie Global Association presents the Presec at 85 Grand Derby on the theme Building Upon a Legacy of Excellence. Come experience the biggest gathering of students, staff, and Odadiers. Date Saturday 30th September 2023. Venue the Presec School grounds at 10 a.m. sharp. The chairman for the occasion, the Right Honorable Professor Odadie Mike Okwe, the former Speaker of Parliament, and our special guest of honor, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana. The dress code: come in your Presec at 85th anniversary cloth. Since 1938, we've been consistent in building upon a legacy of excellence for Mother Ghana, Africa, and the world.
Cactus Creek. It is no longer Ghana's best kept secret. It's an open secret. So serene, so heavenly. And the meals? Just like home cooking. Cactus Creek. Your soul will thank you. Call or WhatsApp 055-039-5007.
Azepa Essentials has good news for you. If you're in Takoradi and its environs, don't worry. You can pick up Azepa Essentials jackets at Ruler Unisex Boutique in Anaji, Takoradi, Queen of Peace in Takofo Road. Call or WhatsApp 0544 548766.
Fitness Center, the premier destination for fitness in Ghana. Meet the indefatigable captain.
There are 3 things that I love doing. Number 1, workout. Number 2, workout. Number 3, workout. Workout put mind, soul, and body together.
The captain has spoken.
We're getting busy. Bright lights, yeah, they make me dizzy. Logo liggy. I just want the Lizzie. It's a logo liggy. Uptown, chasing for the Lizzie. Downtown, everybody busy. Logo liggy. Life be logo liggy. I just want the
Paul's Fitness Center, East Legon Branch, Lizzie Sports Complex, Cotton Street, East Legon, Accra, Ghana, 0302 519 675. Kumasi branches, Officers Mess Branch, Denyame, Major Kobina Drive, Kumasi, 0541 871 602. Golden Tulip, Kumasi City Branch, Rain Tree Street, 0322 492 647. Paul's, the premier destination for fitness in Ghana.
say what lie we for on town.
The KSM Show.
We're back, folks, and this is going to be a very, very serious session, man. You know, Ghana, does it ever stop? Are we ever going to stop complaining about Ghana, or is just a part of our DNA? Say we'll complain till the end of time. I don't know. Friday, when we're ending, the professor was talking about how we need to change the narrative. What is the narrative? Narrative is a hashtag address. I'm serious. How do we change the narrative, man? Again, Professor Senko, your president, I'm with the paradise. Show some love one more time. No, Prof, like, we are saying this as a joke, but what is fundamentally wrong with us? First of all, what is the narrative?
This country is potentially very rich. And it is sad that we depend upon outside help for 80% of inputs into education, agriculture, and health. Almost 100% of our development budget is from outside. How do we change that? We have to recognize that it will take Ghanaians and not foreigners to change this nation. And therefore, we should be aggressive, committed, and know that we have to work hard, recognizing what the world is now. This is a world's economy, an economy that is science and knowledge-based and science and technology-driven. So, and as human beings, you see, we are not animals. We are not creatures of instinct. Animals come to the world with all the science and technology and their culture that they need. If we were best, we'll all be weaving our nest without having gone to technical school. We do things, the bees, we don't have to learn biochemistry or things before they do their own. But we have to do it. And so everything that we need to do, we have to learn. Go to school and learn. And therefore, if we are here and we are importing everything from toothpick to aircraft, as I always say, then there's something wrong with our education and knowledge acquisition system and how we acquire skills. So we have to look at that. That is how we can change the narrative. Mm-hmm. Train people so that they can do things. Because see, the people who are coming to take our gold, take our diamond, and cut wood and do things, they don't come here with digitization, you know. Physical hardware, which is bird. We need digitization, but we need hardware and put the software in it so that it can work. So that's how we change the narrative.
Prof, let me just take you back just a little bit. I'm sure you remember, but the last time, years ago, I tried to interview you, years ago. You told me, oh, you don't want me to interview you at that time. But you referred me to this guy called Gideon Ajari. You know, said, you go and talk to him. He's a brilliant kid. And I remember I had that interview with Gideon Ajari. Gideon, folks, he had actually, I think it was your Mercedes-Benz car that you gave to him.
Yes.
He dismantled the engine and he built an electronic engine, and the car was running on batteries. I don't know where Elon Musk was even there at that time, but a young Ghanaian had built an electric car. So I'm coming back to you. You remember the case? You remember?
Yeah, because
Gideon?
that was my own car. The car is there.
Oh, that was your car.
That was
Yes.
my car. So
Yes.
Mercedes,
So, Prof, we have this potential. We have Gideon Ajari at that time. I'm talking about somewhere.
that is 2003.
Yes. Tesla hadn't come yet.
No.
A young Ghanaian guy had built.
He was
electric car.
23, 24 at the time.
Yes. So what is wrong with us, you know? And sometimes when I hear people articulating like you did, you know, the things we need to do that we know we should do but won't do, it's a part of our narrative. Say, oh,
Sometimes we don't, because let me go back to Nkrumah. You know, he was committed. I mean, he established the Academy of Arts and Sciences, and he was a president when Legon became University of Ghana from University of Gold Coast. He was the chancellor. Yes, and Nana Kwame Nkrumah, the fourth, the Sikado Mahine, was, I think, the acting vice chancellor. So he was interested, and it was hands-on. He knew what he was after. But we haven't had that kind of thing in science and technology. You know, if he will advise the predecessor organization of CSIR, that is the Ghana Academy of Sciences, that do well, and I'm telling the universities that if they need help for their research, let your facilities be given to them so that they can do their research work, and then you can provide. People don't listen to him. He was interested, and he knew what to do and what to tell people to do to make this Ghana a better place. But we haven't had anything like that since then. And we suggest to them, and either they are not interested, they don't understand, or some other people will go and tell them, oh, what this guy is saying is, you know, it's too much for us. Then we'll go back to borrowing, begging to do so-called infrastructure projects. And by that, we've been doing infrastructure since for 60 years. And I think we should stop. Infrastructure is something infra. We have to build a source, that is the substructure. We have to build a structure on it, and that is development, you know. Using your own knowledge, skills, making machine, to do all the things that you want to do. If you want to prepare gari and so on, we can automate all these processes, because there are Ghanaians, fabricators, engineers who can design some of these machines, and we can build them. And I know Ghanaians, a few companies that are specialized in PLC, that is a programmable logic control, that can automate all these processes, gari making, palm oil, and so on. We can do them. The people to change this country are here. You have to look for them and let them work. Let's keep Ghanaians busy. When we are busy, there will be little social media noise, and people will not be saying the things that the insults will go down, because if you are going to work, you are tired, you go home, go and eat, and then go and find some place to sleep. Let's keep Ghanaians busy so that we can build this nation. Right now, you don't get a feeling that Ghanaians are involved in the development of this nation, because in politics, politicians can go and get a loan, start building hospitals, this, that, and you are just watching, and he will tell you, oh, when I came, I built so many hospitals, I did this. What has been the contribution of Ghanaians themselves in this thing? And this is what Ghanaians want to see. They want jobs, they want to be part of the development process, not onlookers and cheerleaders.
You came back from Germany with a desire to build a cardiothoracic center. And when you started building, if I recall right, the workers were all used to be working with TASEC and I think something had happened and they had laid them off. You recruited them, and you were personally on the ground building the thoracic center with them. You were on the ground.
Yes,
you know.
because...
So, yeah. So is that what is missing, that we don't have enough dedicated people who want to roll their sleeves and get their hands dirty and work? Is that what is missing?
That is missing to some extent. Not only rolling your hands and working, but sacrificing your time, your money, because the government did not give us any money to start a center. So in recruiting the workers initially, I had to pay for it with my own money. It has not, nobody has even acknowledged that. And then we got Ghanaians who were dedicated. For example, engineer Donald Dankwa, whose company, McDonald's, they did the structural design and supervised the workers. They did not charge anything at all. And then another engineer, Kwesi Ntiadai, he also did the electricals for us. He didn't charge us anything. And let's also mention Madame Teresa Yanka. You know, when I wanted to build the administration block in front there, she designed, she was the architect who designed that building. We didn't charge one cedi. But they all knew that I was genuine, I wanted to do something, and that was their contribution. I'm telling you that there are good people in this country. And when they see that those of us at the top are doing things, they will sacrifice. But when they sacrifice and they don't see the results of their sacrifice, then they are no longer prepared. They lose confidence in the system, lose confidence in those at the top, and they relax. And sometimes they may also join in the loot and so on. So we need credible people at the top. And when I mean at the top, I'm not saying the president alone, but people, decision makers, you know, so that we do the right thing and this nation will change. Look, we are rich, we are smart, but we need to be directed in the right direction with the right training, right attitudinal change, and then things will change.
Yeah. But, Prof, it seems if you talk to any Ghanaian on the street right now, what does Ghana need to change? I'm sure they may not articulate it as well as you, but that's what we're talking about. Hey, Ghana, they say, you hear discipline, you hear say, we all seem to know. What puzzles me is that, so what is missing? If the people seem ready and they look like we all know what is right, then what are we waiting for?
Leadership. You know, so, I mean, for example, things that are happening with the IGP and so on. I mean, this is a person who wants to work. I mean, if you go to the police headquarters, you see the changes that have come over there. So let's encourage people who want to work to do their work, and then we also follow. But we don't sit outside and try to destroy people who genuinely want to help this country. You know.
Did you experience that?
Oh, yes. I mean, if a doctor could tell another colleague to go and fiddle with equipment on intensive care so that patients will not do well when they are put on those machines in order to discredit Frimpong Boateng, then you know where we are.
Wait a minute.
This is...
So there was this an instruction from a doctor that
yes.
equipment should be fiddled with?
Yes.
Just so that when they die,
it
they'll blame it on you?
Yes. You know, it happened. You know, that is it. So we can be very funny and sometimes very evil. So we need to change our attitude. Again, know that we can't go on like this. It will come to a breaking point. And what I'm afraid of is that young people are not happy. They have their dreams and they cannot postpone their dreams forever. I don't want to sit down there for my grandchildren and their children to come and beat me up and sack me from my house and so on. We need to plan something for them so that they can build upon them. We need to set good examples so that they can say, oh, my granddad did, my father did this, my mother did this, and so on, so that they can also continue on. We need to change. And the thing is, there was a program on one television station where a professor from Legon, I think Professor Bobkin, said that with what he is seeing now, if we start doing things right from now, it might take 30 years before
we get it right.
Someone said that, look, with where we are, if we don't take it, we might not even make it. And so if you have a grandchild who is 1 now, she has to be 31 years to be able to see something. You know, a child who will be born in 10 years time will be 20. Before, you know, it's frightening. And therefore, whatever that we have to do, we have to sit down and do those things, come together and do the things. And I also want to see some people in this country, elders, people who I would say own Ghana. They may come from different political systems, different tribes, different backgrounds, educational backgrounds, different professions, but who will say, look, we cannot sit down for our country to go this way. So let us come together, plan, and maybe make a presentation to the powers that be so that things will change. You know, this is something that we also don't see in this country.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to pause for a course, take a commercial break. When we come back, my guest here has also written an open letter to whoever will be the next president of Ghana. And he's advising that leadership must change and we need transformational leadership. Let's take this commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk more about what do we need to do to get things to change. Stick around, we'll be right back.
The KSM Show.
Happy are we, studios are we, students of Presbyterian Secondary School. Every time I sing this song, they say, now okay, so called Prempeh, you know. Well, the fact is I didn't go to Prempeh, but my foundation was at Odadie. And why am I talking about Odadie? Odadie is 85 years old. Today, 85 years old. So there's a grand debut at Presec, the campus of Presec, on the 30th of September, and I'm going to be telling you more and more about it, okay? But before the grand debut, I'm going to be inviting the headmaster, Mr. David Ojija, and I'm sure he'll be joined by the past alumni president called Reverend Markwe. They're going to be in this house, and we're going to be talking about Happy Are We? So stick around, coming your way very soon.
Yes! The Presbyterian Boys Secondary School Presec hits the Big 8-5. As part of the 85th anniversary celebrations, Presbyterian Boys Secondary School and the Odadia Global Association presents the Presec at 85 Grand Derby on the theme Building Upon a Legacy of Excellence. Come experience the biggest gathering of students, staff, and Odadias. Date Saturday, 30th September 2023. Venue the Presec School grounds at 10 a.m. sharp. The chairman for the occasion, the Right Honorable Professor Odadie Mike Okwe, the former Speaker of Parliament, and our special guest of honor, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana. The dress code: come in your Presec at 85th anniversary cloth. Since 1938, we've been consistent in building upon a legacy of excellence for Mother Ghana, Africa, and the world.
Azepa Essentials has good news for you. If you're in Takoradi and its environs, don't worry. You can pick up Azepa Essentials jacket at Ruler Unisex Boutique in Anaji, Takoradi, Queen of Peace in Takofo Road. Call or WhatsApp 0544 548766.
KSM Show.
We're back. And Prof, you've written an open letter to whoever the next president of this country will be. And you are asking for a particular kind of leadership to help transform Ghana. You call it transformational leadership. Why will it work? Why hasn't it worked? And what is it about what you are recommending is going to make the difference for Ghana?
Yes. I don't know whether it will work, but I pray that we will all learn something from it. All political parties, all people who aspire to be president, including independent candidates and in fact everybody, so that we have to realize that we have to change. We have to realize that we need science, technology, and innovation to be able to change things, because this world is run by technology. Where we are now, our cameras, everything that is here is technology. So, and without technology, we cannot run good agriculture, education, health, and all these things. So that leader should know that. And then we also must run a clean government, be determined, as Lee Kuan Yew said in 1959. He says, when we had independence, we saw the greed and decadence in Asia, and we had a sense of mission not to be part of that. And so we had a very credible program based on science and technology. And Singapore, in 1819, it was a village, a fishing village with 120 people. Around that time, we here in the Gold Coast were very strong and wise people. 1844, we were signing the bond of 1844, the British, So we are talented. We've started long ago, but we are stuck. And I want the next leader to think about these things and be determined that, look, we have experienced greed, decadence, bad administration, corruption, bad things. They have not taken us anywhere. So we need to change. And whatever they have to do today, even if you have to rule for only 4 years, do that and get away, and so that we can move on.
You mentioned how somebody was saying that even if we were to start now, it's going to take like 30 years. So let's say we have a leader who has decided he wants to start now. Who starts? And in 4 years, they are definitely not going to get anywhere.
You'll get somewhere. In Ghana, this may be a little bit different, because as I said, the country is potentially rich, Ghanaians are talented, and they can do anything that they want to do. So if we get that kind of leadership, I think that period may be shortened. Because recently, not long ago, either in the newspaper or somewhere, I heard about a school in the eastern region that had harvested onions. A heap, large quantities, I don't know how many tons. This is very encouraging. So we know that we can transform agriculture, we can transform all the other social areas if we do the right thing, encourage people to do the right thing. We can shorten the period. And then when we see that things are going well, we'll be energized to move on at a faster rate. Imagine, just as when things are going bad, we are demoralized and we sort of lose hope, and then things start going bad with speed.
Is it safe to say that we have a certain culture or an attitude that is working against us, and that in order to get something working for us, that whole culture and attitude must change? And
yes, it's all greed, tribalism,
an extreme partisan.
I won't say tribalism, but clan thing, trying to dominate and so on. That will not work. We need to open up, And to me, tribalism and these things, if you are a tribalist, I think only stupid people will be doing that, because, as I said, if a child is born in Accra to Ghana parents, even in Accra, Ghana parents, take that child at birth and take it to live with foster parents in Nima or Mamobi, Hausa people or from where. After 20 years, that child is not a Ghan. He will speak something else, dance something else, understand. So human beings are not programmed from birth to be what they are. Maybe I'm here because maybe my ancestors were from Burkina Faso or somewhere, but I'm here in Ghana, in Ashanti, and I call myself an Ashanti, when I don't know where I can go back 20 generations. So where you are brought up determines your culture and so on. So we must not say you are from here, you are from there. We are all one people, and as the champion was saying, one people, one nation, one destiny. We must think like that and move on. And not try to divide us.
Let's get current now. What is your assessment of the current situation? You think is too divisive, too partisan? What do you see that you think needs to be changed?
It is too partisan. I mean, we can have different political parties, MPP, NDC, CPP, XYZ, independent, and so on. But we should not see ourselves as enemies. Our enemies they are outside, those who are exploiting us, and they are not evil. That is human nature. If we are stupid, we'll be exploited. So let us look at ourselves and say, look, we are Ghanaians, we want to move on. We may have different ideological views, but even in Ghana, I don't even see it that way. Because if you talk to a typical MPP man, say, well, why are you an MPP person? Or and say, you don't see the clear-cut ideology. We are conservative. Where is the conservatism? We ask NDC man, why are you NDC? The same thing. They can't even define the structures, how the parties operate. So this is artificial boundaries. So we need to come together that we are in one nation and we are at risk of being swallowed by our competitors outside. That is very important.
Yeah, and my question is that will that happen? I think this whole struggle is between what is ideal and what is actually doable. And it seems to me that the ideal things are not doable. We have to know that we are one people, Ghana. And so what if you are a Fanti, Ghana, or Ewe, or Ashanti? That's the ideal.
Yes.
But the reality is, I can't form more. That's the reality. So how do we get people to transform from what we believe to be ideal?
So leadership. If the leaders keep on saying things, people will change, And when we were in school, senior school, we didn't even know about these things. I mean, we didn't care where you came from. The good thing is, like when we were in medical school, I like my class. That was a very good class, a class of 75. Very intelligent people, together, doing things, learning together, and making sure that we all came up. That is the spirit.
In your own analysis, when did things start changing so that we became so ethnocentric focused, tribal focused, or whatever? Because back in the day when we were in secondary school, back in those days, we were in class with everybody throughout Ghana here. The North, I have friends from everywhere, United on back home. So we grew up as a nation, So when did it come that we became so divisive, either politically or ethnically or religious-wise?
But I think the coups and also the introduction of political parties which are not be able to handle well, these are the things. The political parties in our part of the world are very divisive. We need to pitch one group against the other, manipulate them before we can move on. And astute politicians have taken advantage of that and subdued the nation. Instead of lifting all of us up, we are being divided, and things are not going well.
What do we need to do to get the word out for people to understand? I think that's the question that we haven't answered yet. Okay, we have got to where we are by now. How do we reverse it? Is it possible to reverse it?
It's possible if we talk about it, if we discuss it. Instead of the things that we talk about on radio and television, let's discuss these things. Seriously, serious people talking about these things, and so that it will trickle down, and social media, people will discuss this. And politicians will take notice and change.
What do you think will account for the lack of discussions? Because the people are not even aware that these are the things that need to be discussed. Because we have all been driven to think certain things, now they call something trending. If I want to trend, I have to do something as ridiculous as possible. It doesn't have to make sense, but that can be trending worldwide, And if you make sense and you're trying to target people to talk about this and discuss this, you won't trend. Nobody even wants to listen to you. How do you fix that? I mean, has the bus left the station?
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet.
We have to change the bus so that it doesn't leave the station. I think, I don't have the silver bullet for that kind of thing. But I believe that the more we think and talk about them, then knowing that if we persist on this path, we are getting nowhere. So that we see the change. Because if we don't change, we should also anticipate the consequences. Because you can't hide the consequences of corruption, incompetence, and misrule. You can hide them, but eventually they all appear in forms as things are not getting well, you are dead to death, the country is broke, all institutions are broke, individuals are broke, people still, if they get the slightest chance, they will prefer something just to survive. When you see those things, if we don't fix them, it will be more. And now they will steal, but a time will come when they will come to you with a knife or a gun to demand it. So we need to do something now.
Okay. What do you feel about the despondency of the youth now? As we said on Friday, there's something called, called jackpot or whatever, that the best thing you have to do to yourself as youth is to get out of the country. And it's become so popular that any country announced that, Charlie, we are looking for laborers. You may even get university lecturers to join in the queue. I don't know. I'm talking about any country, US, UK, let them announce it. Canada was on real laborers who said you are Dr. Fokra. What is happening? Why have we neglected Ghana? What should we do to put the focus back on Ghana? Is it possible?
It is possible. It's all leadership. I mean, that's the only thing I can say for now. Yeah, if you have leaders who will be talking about these things and be showing the right example. You don't talk about it and then you are doing something else. Your brothers and sisters are doing it, your children are doing something different. No, Ghanaians will not trust you. You need to set the example and Ghanaians will follow. That one, I believe in it so strongly.
Well, for somebody like Rollins, whatever we want to say against him, would you agree that his kind of presence brought about some discipline into the nation, or was it the opposite effect that we got,
I mean, I wasn't here the whole period when the revolution started. I came here at the tail end of the PNDC.
Okay.
But he was a young man. He was enthusiastic. He wanted something good for us. But then he recruited people who should have helped him more than they did. If they have convinced him that, look, we need science and technology, we need to do this, we need to do that, showed him the example of what went on before, I think that Rollins could have. But then some people spend the time chasing their real and perceived enemies and made Rollins a very bad person. I mean, this is what I felt happened. But he did not have all the experience and the skills and the knowledge to do what a leader like Lee Kuan Yew, did. He knew exactly where he was going, but Rollins depended upon people for direction and for guidance, and he did not get that in full as far as I am concerned.
Let me jump into contemporary politics. At one point you contested to be flag bearer for the MPP. Of the lot that is now remaining the MPP, if you were voting, who would you put your bet on as somebody who can really come and help change the narrative? Is there anybody you see?
I will not answer this question. I will not answer this question. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. And I'll give an answer maybe in about 4 weeks' time.
4 weeks' time. He's going to be my guest in 4 weeks' time, folks. Just for the answer. Just for the answer. But no, on the very, we try to make things like, but seriously, you have recommended to whoever will take over from this administration some kind of leadership that you're looking for. What is it that you're seeing that shouldn't be done anymore in this country, leadership?
See, the bad signs, some of the bad signs, or one of them that I'm seeing is the trying to whip some people into line, or use money, massive amount of money to the electorate for them to think in a certain direction. That is the beginning of corruption. If you do that, there's no way that you can stop corruption in this country. And I will not go for that. So if that candidate is strong, then you don't need all the things that that are happening to help any candidate. That you have to whip the party government appointees in line for them to, in a certain direction, spend a lot of money on that person or on those people, or candidates spending money. If you do that, you are telling the world that you are not strong and you need this extraneous help for you to become relevant. Yes.
I don't know whether you'll answer this question, but do you see that happening now? Because
it's happening.
It's happening now?
Yeah.
So who's being whipped into state to vote for who?
I'll give the answer in 4 weeks' time.
What can I say, folks? In 4 weeks' time, please tune in, because I'll have a prof back just for the answer. Or I just take my crew to his house just for the answer, and then we'll come back and continue our show. But anyway, folks, Prof, thank you very much for joining us. For the first spotlight we have had, you are the only guest that we have had who's been on Friday with a new episode on Sunday, 1 hour starting. So hopefully, show you some love, man.
Thank you.
So hopefully, folks, if you need anybody that you think deserves to be on Spotlight, feel free, send a text to my producer and tell us why you think that person deserves to be on Spotlight. It's like a two-part thing, the opening and then the ending. And we had the privilege of having Professor Frimpong Boateng to be the first Spotlight guest. And on Friday, we talked about things he has done. And today, we are talking about what he hopes to see. And the next time, we'll be talking about why certain things have happened the way he didn't comment. But Prof, thank you so much. We are happy.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure, my pleasure. So, folks, until we meet again, KSM signing off in the same words as I've done in the last, since independence. We are out of, let the whole world say, hey.